And so it's happened, ladies and gentlemen. After 11 years, 21 movies, and $18.5 billion later, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has officially reached its final chapter and conclusion with the release of Avengers Endgame today, Friday, April the 26th, 2019. And guys, I have to say one thing. What a magnificent journey that the entirety of the MCU that the late great Stan Lee created 11 years ago, beginning with the first movie in this cinematic universe, Iron Man 1, 2, and 3. Now guys, before I go any further, I'm going to be honest and tell you, I did not see any of these movies in theaters because, as some of you might know, I'm more on the animated side of any superhero type of movie, but make no mistake, I am very much aware of the impact that the MCU has had on just the overall culture of today's young people in particularly, because when Stan made the decision to basically create a universe where all of his most legendary creations, movies would be connected in the same universe canon, if you will. I don't even think he at the time could have imagined the journey and the success that lie ahead. Now guys, with the release of Endgame today, this does mark a bit an end of an era for superhero movies, let's say, and maybe even for movies in general, because there will probably never be the amount of hype and excitement and basically overall enthusiasm for any other type of a movie universe, because let's be honest, even though I'm more on the animated side of things, what has happened with these live action Marvel superhero movies is exactly what would have happened if Stan had ever gotten around to maybe doing this in the animated series department, like who didn't dream, maybe when they were a kid, back when Spider-Man was first created, or any of the Marvel superheroes, who if you're telling me that you are a fan of Marvel, regardless of what way you prefer the heroes to be presented in, whether it be live action or in animation, you can't tell me that you haven't wondered what it would be like to see Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, Captain America, Hawkeye, Bucky the Winter Soldier, and Spider-Man, and basically every Marvel superhero that you could possibly think of come together in one movie. And to put it simply, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has basically become a phenomenon because it's basically every superhero fan's dream to see that many iconic comic book characters be in the same movie, on the same team, working together to defeat a common enemy. And I will say, even though I do prefer DC over Marvel, just in terms of the heroes that they have produced, I will say what the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been able to do over these past 11 years and throughout all 22 movies, if you do include Avengers Endgame, even though, like I said, it's just being released today, they have collectively combined made over $18.5 billion, making it the most successful movie franchise in history, even outdoing Star Wars, Fast and Furious, Men in Black, that's right, people, Avengers, and the MCU. It overcame all of them to be the most successful movie franchise ever. Now that's not to say that every Marvel Cinematic Universe movie has been a hit, because there have been some that have been less popular than others, but when you look at something like Black Panther, Captain America, the first one, or Captain America Winter Soldier, or the more recent successes like Black Panther, or Captain Marvel, or Thor, or Thor Ragnarok. I almost said Shazam, but he's DC. But anyway, guys, can you just all of these movies collectively were all pretty much, for the most part, box office for smashes, especially Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, Captain America, Winter Soldier, and most recently, Black Panther. But the true beauty of the MCU came when, back in 2012, Stan came up with the idea of introducing the Avengers, the most iconic superhero team in comic history, second only, in my opinion, to the legendary Justice League. But the point is, guys, the Avengers movies, even the controversial Age of Ultron, did absolutely phenomenal, and truly were able to basically became part of pop culture, and that can be said for for every single movie that has been released throughout the MCU's history. Like, 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 I still remember when they were promoting Iron Man back in 2008. That trailer was everywhere, and that was before Facebook, Twitter, and even YouTube were still as were not as prominent and influential as they are today, but still, just on the power that Iron Man was the first Marvel hero in a while, ever at that point, I believe, to have its own solo origin story movie, and for it to be as big as a success as that was. That was something legendary at the time. And each of the Avengers movies have basically continued that trend, but surpassed it. Even though, if you do remember, Age of Ultron did have some controversy, but even still, it managed to do fairly well at the box office. So just the MCU overall, guys, I personally don't believe that we will ever see another movie universe where each movie in the series is connected that will be as sort of well received and as embraced and sort of be like you know, almost like a third coming of movies, because the third coming of superhero movies, because the Marvel Cinematic Universe basically revived the superhero genre type of movies as a whole. Because if you remember, sure, we had the Spider-Man movies back in 2002. We had the Fantastic Four movie, I think, in like 04, 06, or maybe both. I can't remember at this moment, but even they were not able to do what Black Panther did, what Thor Ragnarok did, and especially what the three previous Avengers movies were able to do. And now, just to sort of come full circle here, do I think that we will ever see the Avengers on the big screen in live action again? I do, but make no mistake, guys, it has been confirmed that Avengers Endgame is the end of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that means this, as I said at the top of the video, truly is the end of an era, because within the confines of this movie, Iron Man and the rest of the fully reunited and assembled Avengers team are finally going to deal with Thanos and their biggest enemy, and finally bring the world to true peace. That's not saying that this movie is going to be the last time that we're going to see them, but this does mark the end of Stan's genius idea that he started back in 2008 with the creation of this universe. And what a superb idea that the late Stan the Man Lee had, because I truly believe that he decided to give the okay for this movie universe to be created, because he wanted to give the people what he always wanted but could never have back in the 1920s and 30s, as a as a as a as a young man, which was to be able to see all these heroes on the big screen played by actual people or in animation format, and basically have each movie connected, and more importantly bring entertainment and happiness to millions of people around the world. And the MCU has done just that. And like I said, with the 21 movies combined, and this is not counting in the numbers for Endgame yet, they have made over $18.5 billion. So I think we can all safely say that Stan's dream and vision that he had for this connected movie universe has come true. Now, obviously, it's sad not only that this is the end of truly something iconic, and again, something I feel like the world will never experience again. Now that the universe is ending, but obviously it is the most crushing blow of all that the guy that created 98%, actually the man that created Marvel and had the original idea to set this connected universe up, Stan Lee, is obviously, sadly, unfortunately, no longer with us. But I do take comfort in the fact that even though Stan unfortunately had to leave us at the age of 95, I take comfort in the fact that the core of this movie still had to be approved by him, right down to the very end. And I also take great joy knowing that Stan filmed enough cameos to still be in the next 10 years worth of Marvel movies, and for the purpose of Endgame, even though we know Stan it is no longer with us, we will still get to see him pop up in Avengers Endgame, and it is my hope and my plea to every single person that is going to see Avengers Endgame in the theaters, that when you do see Stan coming for his cameo appearance, please. I know it's not proper to get emotional or clap during a movie, but please clap for Stan the Man Lee, because people remember right to the bitter, right up until his last days, Stan, even at 95, dealing with the ammonia that sadly finally did take him from us. But even though he was still dealing with that, among some other health issues, he still gave his heart and soul to every single Marvel project up until he was taken from us on November 12th of last year. So when you see him in the final MCU movie entitled Avengers Endgame, please get 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 up out of your seat, as long as you are physically able to and are not disabled or anything, such as in my case. Please get up out of your seats and give one last big Hulk smash clap to the man, the myth, the legend, and in my opinion, the real Iron Man, Stan the Man Lee. But again, guys, Avengers Endgame will be and is the conclusion to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So again, thank you, Robert Downey Jr. Thank you to each and every person that has been involved in all 22 movies of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Thank you to each and every single writer, director, producer, basically everybody. And the biggest thank you of all, obviously, goes up to the sky to Stan Lee himself. So once again, Excelsior to you, Stan. We miss you. We still miss you every single day. Thank you for giving the world 11 years of a truly phenomenal franchise. Even though, again, I personally did not go and see any of the 22 movies in the theaters because, again, I'm more of a fan of the animation side of things. But still, what Stan was able to do with not just the MCU, but still with his creation from Marvel in both live action in movies and on TV in animated TV shows is something that I truly do not think will ever be able to be topped. And that's the other thing, guys. It's amazing that the MCU has been was as well received and embraced as it was, because let's remember, even with this would not have been possible like 15 or 20 years ago, back in 1999, because the technology simply wasn't there to be able to pull off any of the phenomenal CGI or action scenes that have been demonstrated throughout these 11 years. And again, that is why I believe it's amazing that the MCU was able to generate $18.5 billion, because let's be honest, guys, it is easy to do kind of an animated MCU because it's animation. Anything is possible, but with live action, I feel like Stan decided to unleash this at the right time, because starting in 2008, even though the technology from 11 years ago still is actually very, very outdated to what it is today, still, again, going back to Iron Man and just the and and just the technology that we had back then. That was the genesis, or the beginning. If you don't understand what genesis means, that was the start of what has ultimately led us to Avengers Endgame today. So again, a big thank you to Robert Downey Jr. and every single actor, writer, director that has worked on the MCU these past 11 years. And again, like I said before I thought of that last tangent there, thank you, Stan Lee. We miss you every day. And thank you for all the joy you brought to the millions of Marvel fans, both young and old. You created, with the MCU, a kind of, again, second coming of the superhero genre, and you did it basically on your own terms. So thank you again, Stan the Man Lee. And guys, I can't think of a better way to wrap this video up than by saying, first, Excelsior to Stan Lee, and Excelsior, and thank you to the MCU, and we will remember you always, Stan, and the MCU as well. And to finish it off today, people, Iron Man said this once. In the animated series, Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Avengers assemble, we are strong, forever fight as one.